Hey everybody, Truth Dog, internet's favorite dog, back at it with another crazy video. Today we'll be talking about gang stalking. Can't believe I haven't done a video on this yet, but when you hear what I've got to say, you might know why. Basically, gang stalking doesn't happen to me anymore. It used to happen to me. Just throw the notes out for now. It used to happen to me. When I first woke up, and I think that's when it starts for everybody, pretty much. As soon as you sort of start becoming more aware, you start raising your vibration, start noticing things, putting things together, looking into conspiracy theories, trying to wake other people up. That's basically when the system tags you as a threat, and they send all their flying monkeys after you, if you'll allow a Wizard of Oz reference. And I know you will. I know you guys are very partial to... I know you guys are Oz heads. What was I saying? Flying monkeys. Yeah. Gang stalking. Now, most people, when they first wake up and they start, all that sort of stuff happens to them. Like people are messing with their property. It seems like wherever they go, they're being monitored. It seems like people are following them. They're dealing with things like noise harassment, or maybe they're getting threatening letters in the mail. I mean, it's endless. It's basically, you know what I mean, like dealing with psychopaths 24/7. Like helicopters flying over your house, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure anyone watching this video would be familiar with what gang stalking is. But like I said, that stuff happens when you first wake up, and as far as I can tell, it's basically because they see, the system sees you as a threat. It's kind of like in The Matrix, Mr. Smith, how he's like multiple characters. He's like, he's basically just an AI kind of thing, like a surveillance system, and he uses people within the Matrix who haven't woken up, or probably, in my opinion, can't wake up, organic portals, to track Neo and to give him trouble, basically. And that's how that's how I see that it works in reality, because of course, there's a lot of truth in fiction, and there's also a lot of fiction in truth. But yeah, basically that's, gang stalking, spiritual warfare. It's basically good versus evil. If you have the capacity to think for yourself, you have the capacity, I think, to have a spiritual awakening. And so they send, what they want to do is they want to basically cause so much stress to you that you'll hope, like, I think that what they wanted to make you do is basically concede, give up, you know what I mean? Make you feel like, oh, it's like, what is that thing? Negative reinforcement. There's like, it's like, they want you to associate what you're doing with something that isn't good for you, you know what I mean? Like, your life becomes harder when you start to entertain certain possibilities, new realities, that kind of thing. They kind of want to get you to go back to where you were, which is down in a lower vibration, down in a fear state, where they can still control you. And the thing is, if you're able to raise your vibration to a certain level, you actually transcend, of course, you transcend the fight or flight. You basically regain control of your life, and you start to be able to create your own reality with your thoughts and intentions. And so they're terrified of that. They're terrified of you becoming high vibration, because they can't control that. They can only control things that are low vibration. That's why narcissists and psychopaths gaslight and bully and harass people, turn good people against good people, because if they can keep you down at a low vibration, they can control you. You know what I mean? And so they want to keep you. They want to keep you scared. They want to keep you depressed. They want to keep you angry even, you know what I mean? Where attention goes, energy flows. And I've said numerous times, it's not a particularly original theory, but I believe that the world is obviously a simulation, but also the whole purpose for us being here is that it's a negative energy farm, etheric energy, which is, you know, what we put out, you know. Everything's sort of vibration, everything's energy. And so I believe that this world runs on negative energy, and so that's why everything is basically, you know, like all the news is bad news. Nobody likes their job. You have no free time. The free time that you do have, you have to run errands. If you have to go to work, you get stuck in traffic. That's all, you know, it's everything basically in this world is to harvest your energy, to use you as a battery to power the matrix, because I don't believe that the people in control can actually make their own energy. They use us. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to refer to my notes. I don't think any of that was particularly eloquent, and most people would probably be aware of it, but just for those who aren't, I thought it would be important to waste 6 minutes prefacing all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, as far as I'm aware, gangstalking doesn't happen until people wake up. I was going to go through a couple of situations in which I have experienced gangstalking. Yeah, it's basically, I don't want to. I've decided not to go into specifics. I'm just looking at these examples. I might save them for another time. But essentially, the point I want to get to is that hopefully I'm not jinxing anything, but it seems like gangstalking, at least in the conventional sense, it doesn't happen to me anymore. It almost seems like I'm at a point, spiritually, vibrationally, what have you, my awareness is too high. Like they say, awareness repels. So if you can see through people, if you can spot a liar, you know, like if you can see a person who's full of shit, your awareness will actually make it so that they don't want to come near you, because they know they won't get anywhere with any of their bullshit with you. It's like when you know, they know. And someone asked me in my Q&A thing that didn't work out, but someone asked a question about, I've said in the past how when you're recording somebody, like especially a perp, narc, rep, or whatever you want to call them, when you're recording someone who's not looking out, you know, doesn't have your best interests in mind, when, like, say you're going to a doctor who you don't trust, or you're having to, you know, talk to a colleague or anybody, any kind of perp, I found if you're recording, like if you have your phone recording at the time, things tend to go a lot smoother, even though like there's no way necessarily for that person that you're recording for them to even know that you have a phone on you. Obviously it's 2021. You probably do, but like there's no way for them to know that they're being recorded. But for some reason, they tend to adjust their behavior as if they do know they're being recorded. So that's one thing I would recommend if you're wanting to kind of make sure that situations go your way when you're dealing with someone who you don't like and they don't like you. Just record it. Worst case scenario, they do act like a piece of shit, as you expect them to, and then you got proof of it. But I've found they don't even do it for some reason when you're recording. And as I was saying, it's that thing of when you know, they know. And like the technology, it's like AI, it's artificial intelligence. And you know, like the hive mind, again, I'm not explaining this very well, but it seems, for whatever reason, that if you've done that, if you've taken that precaution, they'll know that you've taken that precaution, and they will not, you know, they will not act too out of line. You could even look at it as like the Truman Show kind of thing, because, you know, Truman's monitored 24/7, one way or another, you know what I mean? And so if that like movie is 100% literal, then all the people that come into your life are technically actors who are aware of the show and the production, you know what I mean? So they're going to act accordingly based on how you, Truman, are operating. But anyway, that's just one thing that I found interesting. I didn't intend for this to be like a tips video, but But just now that we're on that line of thinking, a couple of other things that you can do, or at least one other that comes to mind. If you're wanting to sort of protect yourself, shield yourself, protect your own energy, because like I said, they're energy vampires. When they do something that causes you, annoyance or frustration or sadness or anger, it actually feeds them, because where attention goes, energy flows. It goes straight to them. The way I see it is that narcissists, reptilians are conscious. They're just got like the evil. They've got like the negative, evil conscious, and empaths are conscious, but they're obviously positive. They're like So it's good versus evil, and I believe that the energy that you give to a narcissist will feed them directly. It'll make them stronger, make them even feel high. I think, as far as I've experienced, it makes them seem like they're high when they get what they want from you. But when say you're dealing with an organic portal, which is a person with no ability to think for themselves. They're essentially AI NPCs, just computer-generated characters in this matrix. If they're piloted by Mr. Smith, then what will happen is the energy will go to the Mr. Smith, who is part of the matrix, and that will go directly up to the character that runs this place. If you want to look at it in terms of Truman Show, again, it would be Christoph, but if you want to look at it from a religious standpoint, it'd be the devil, or even good and evil, it would be the devil, Satan, whatever, whatever the name you give to the personification of evil. He's the one that runs this place. And I believe that if you give the energy to an organic portal, they're like vacuums, and the energy will be given to Saturn. Trying to explain all this both in simple terms, but it's also very difficult, because what I'm saying is fucking crazy. Like, it's not crazy to me, but I'm doing this video in a way where I'm thinking about, what would a normal person think about what I'm saying? I always do that, and it kind of screws me up. And I know people will say, don't worry about other people think, but it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, my ability to put myself in other people's, not shoes, hats, I suppose, you know what I mean? But anyway, so back to the notes. Haven't really looked at these. I'm doing more of an old school kind of Truth Dog video where it's low on laughs, but hopefully high on information. Stupid thing to say. I was doing so well, nearly 13 minutes, holy shit. Yeah, so basically, like, when you raise your vibration, it sort of builds like a protective barrier, like a force field. I feel these days, like I said, I don't really experience gangstalking anymore, where it feels like I'm wearing a sign that says "Don't fuck with me," and like basically, I never experience any of that shit. Like, it's a couple of examples. Like, I used to, whenever I'd go out, I'd always notice someone suspicious. Kind of, if I went to a store, they'd be waiting like out the front, and it just looks so sus. They'd be like pretending to look on their phone, and they'd be like that, kind of like. I was like, the fuck's that person fucking staring at me for? And it was always like that. You get into the parking lot, back to your car, and there's another person just kind of staring, and then you'd be like, huh? And then they'd be like, but it was just like, it was always consistent. Or you'd sit in your car, right? Now, I've done this so many times where I'll be like, especially if I'm with someone at the time, and they know that I'm crazy, I'll be like, that fucking person's a perp. I bet you anything, if we wait here, they'll fucking wait until we leave. And I've tested it like at least 3 times, where I've sat in the car waiting for them, they're just sitting in the car. It feels like they're watching me. And I've waited like half an hour or more, and they didn't fucking move. They're just sitting in the car like, who the fuck sits in their car unless they're crazy thinking that someone else is watching them? Well, then, of course, Truth Dog, maybe that person thinks that you're gangstalking them. It's not like that, You can tell a piece of shit. I'm not a piece of shit, I swear to God, I'm not a piece of shit. Methinks he doth protest too much. But anyway, and there was one time where I actually waited them out, and they ended up leaving, and then I did the kind of crazy thing and followed them. just as, you know, not in like a stalking way. God, I keep bringing up stuff that makes me sound like a stalker. Oh shit. But I followed them home, and basically just was like sending a message like, yeah, I fucking know where you live now. You know what I mean? Not that I did anything with that, but it was just like kind of turning the tables, which can sometimes be good, but probably, you know, I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I think I showed that, like, if you fuck with me, I'll fucking fight back. I won't make it easy. You know, I won't pretend to not notice that people are acting fucking sus. I won't pretend, you know, I won't keep my mouth shut. I'll fucking call someone out if they're acting fucking weird. I don't give a shit, you know? Like, if I think that someone is up to something, I'll call them out. And you can always tell, once you call someone out, how they react, if you are right or not. So it's like peace of mind thing. You could be 9 times out of 10, when you feel like someone is like stalking you, following you, whatever it is, trying to make you uncomfortable, if you call it out, they'll always react like, I don't know, I can't really react like them, but they'll always say something that's just like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, my thing was fucking weird to say, but your thing was even weirder. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all this. I'll try to just be quick with it, or like cherry pick these things. People know just what to say. I think I just covered that. Okay, so my opinion, okay, the videos online about gang stalking, in my opinion, a lot of them are misinfo. A lot of them are very dangerous and probably deliberately put out by shills and, you know, gatekeepers, government agents, whatever, to make people paranoid. Because when I first woke up, you know, several years ago, and that was one of the first things that I got into, gang stalking, especially when you start to see it. You know, you type online, try to see if, like, is anyone else experiencing this? That's kind of how you come into it. A lot of the videos are deliberately put out there to, you know, like I said, make people paranoid. You know, make you think that everybody is gang stalking, because they'll give you, like, they'll make you crazy through association. Like, they'll say that anybody, like, using their phone is using this, like, advanced government app to, like, send, like, deadly radio waves to your brain and shit like that. And so you'll be, like, in the food court at the mall or whatever, back when they had malls, and you'll be like, oh, that person's on their phone, gang stalker, gang stalker. And it's like, even if you're not outright accusing people of being that, you're like thinking in your head, oh, everyone's out to get me. So a lot of those videos are very, very bad for your health. And like I said, it's the kind of thing where the more that you focus on it, the more it becomes a reality. So it might not be happening, but maybe, like, there is a chance that you could be bringing those situations into your awareness just because it's what you're thinking about. So you could actually make it come true. Sorry, I've got COVID-19. Energy goes where attention flows. Give you power to what you focus on. It just said that. It's like that thing in The Simpsons. It says here, ignore them and they will die. That's basically the point I'm getting at. That's why I don't respond to trolls or people being dickheads on purpose in my comment section anymore. I used to think it was, like, cool to, like, put people in their place and all that sort of stuff, but it's really just giving them attention. It's giving them energy. It's like, if you don't give them any attention, they'll stop. They're only in it for your reaction. They're only in it, and once you give them something, then they have something to work with, and then it'll just be this, like, your whole fucking day's ruined because you decided to try and, like, be like, well, actually, blah blah blah. Because they'll pick apart the psychopaths, you know, they'll just be like, oh, okay, that's his weakness, oh, here we go. Oh, and don't you think, you know, and they'll be contrarian, don't you, well, if you say this, don't you think this, and you'll be in this whole fucking, they'll keep you in a loop and waste your time. So that's, yeah, don't, just, if you see people in the comment section, unless you got, like, something really devastating to say to them that they wouldn't be able to refute, I wouldn't recommend replying to them. I just leave the comments up so that people can see that, you know, that this idiot wasted their time. You know, that's basically the best thing. The other thing, other good thing you can do is basically joke, make fun of them, because humor is very high vibration, and if you can do that, they've got no comeback really, because they're not going to be funny back to you. They don't want to joke around with you. I found that with fucking narcs, psychopaths, reptilians, that I swear to goodness I feed him. He probably just wants to be in another video. When you yeah, they don't want to joke with you. I've tried to, like, you know how like a normal person, you'll try to alleviate a bad situation by using humor to like break the ice. And if you do that with a perp, 9 times out of 10 they'll just be like stone faced and be like, can't believe you would say that, blah blah blah. So don't, you know, I don't know what my advice is. Fuck them. That's my advice. Fuck those pieces of shit. Government organised gang stalking exists. Yeah, I'm not even sure if like government organised gang stalking even actually exists. I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's people who have done like activism and stood up and like maybe pissed off the wrong people, you know, like cops and people in government, and have been put on, you know, lists like the Stasi and all that kind of stuff, you know, blacklisted and shit. It probably does happen, you know. Cancel culture is just like an extension of that. I'm sure it does happen, but for the most part, like normal everyday people, I'm pretty sure that the stuff that they're experiencing is what I'm talking about, like spiritual warfare, like reptilians in the 4th dimension, which is like the astral plane, I think, basically jumping bodies into organic portals, or people who have compromised their shush! Hold on. Alright. Here's the little pup. Is this what you wanted? 15 seconds of fame. Count them. 1, 2, 15. I think he saw a lizard or something up there. You saw a reptilian, did you? Was he in the astral plane or the normal plane? Normal. Yeah, no. Alright, well, have fun. Please be quiet. See, I'm such a good... Oh, I'm probably going to have to pause this again, sorry. Okay, he's still here. I'm gonna try to get through this. I've only got like a few more things to say. But like I was saying, they are, you know, they'll jump bodies, and like say you're out in public and there'll be people who are, you know, talking about stuff, like basically reciting a conversation you had earlier, or they're talking about something that like triggers you and it's super fucking specific. It's like, you're thinking, no fucking way is this, like, would someone just be happen to say all this shit that triggers the fuck out of me in public? That would be a case of like a Mr. Smith jumping into an organic portal. And I would recommend that you don't necessarily react to people like that, because the portal, what will happen is the Mr. Smith will just jump out. The person you're accusing won't even know what the fuck you're talking about. They'll be completely blank. They'll barely even know what just happened. And so, like I said, if that kind of stuff is happening, just fucking punch him in the throat. That'll shut him up. Yeah, but so basically, like, when you raise your vibration, when you eat well, when you remove yourself from negative people, toxic people, whatever, when you stop watching TV and, you know, you're not doing drugs and alcohol and shit, when you basically get your life on track, you'll raise your vibration, that'll build a force field, all the angels will, you know, be on your side, and they won't be able to fuck with you anymore. But I found they'll still monitor you, but they'll do it from afar. Kind of stuff like, you know, planes or helicopters flying over your house, they'll still be able to do shit like that. And there's videos online where you can see that the planes that are actually like gang stalking people aren't even real planes. They're apparently like jinn, you know, like reptilians basically hologram, using holograms, or it could be UFOs, you know what I mean, using holograms to look like they're driving around, fucking flying around in World War II planes. It's like, this isn't, what's that fucking movie, whatever, Jesus Christ, North by Northwest, you know what I mean? So they're driving, you know, like, where the fuck are these things from? Where are they going? They're not real planes. That's the answer. They're also the ones that like do the chemtrails. So I guess it's like reptilians farting or something. Have I done that joke before? It's really funny. I got a helicopter story. Probably won't get into that. Basically, a helicopter followed me. I was with a friend. I decided to go into a street because it followed me. I decided not to go where we were going, just to see, well, I'll go somewhere completely random. I took like an off-road and fucking followed me there. Found some neighborhood. I didn't even know where I was. Just stopped outside someone's house, and the fucking helicopter was literally hovering in circles over me for about 5 minutes before it eventually just decided, I don't know, maybe it was out of petrol or something, but that's weird, isn't it? Saying stuff like that makes me sound like I'm a domestic terrorist. Probably just incriminated myself even further by admitting that. Only harassment these days is online. Yeah, like I said, they can still do it from far. I'm super conscious of the time now. 30 minutes is just way too long for this sort of thing. But yeah, the only way that I experience gangstalking anymore is online. Like I said, with trolls and people in my comment section, even not too many. Even the trolls love me, I think. And YouTube will perp the shit out of me with, basically they used to go into my notifications, turn off notifications so I wouldn't get any messages. So I'd have to keep going into that and like turning it back on so I'd like, get some notifications. Even with it turned on, you still don't get all the notifications that you should. And I found that the ones that they do give me a lot of the time are only if someone's like is arguing with me or name calling. But it'll like it just so happens most of the time I won't receive a notification that's saying something nice about me or agreeing with me or whatever. It won't tell me that, you know, a comment I made on some video has like a bunch of likes until like I check back on that video like a year later and be like, oh, holy shit, it's like 50 comments and 100 likes. I'm famous. Yeah, so like that's the only way they really get to me anymore. And lately, because I've mostly used the internet, YouTube on my PlayStation or through my TV. I would check the Creator Studio in there because it's how I look at comments, because like I said, it doesn't always give me notifications for every comment I receive. So if I missed your comment, it's either because I didn't see you or I just don't like you at all. Yeah, so that was the only way I could find it. Now I have to freaking turn the 5G on, get it on the laptop and do all that. It's all purpose because all your energy it goes through screens. Anything with a screen can collect energy. As far as I'm aware, it's 30 minutes in. Why not just make up any sort of bullplop to get through this kind of thing? No one's even watching it anymore, Truth Dog. Oh yeah, so that's basically it. There you go. Those are my thoughts on gangstalking. Not everything, but it's a good chunk of it. And I hope you enjoyed it. Won't waste any more of your time. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I know that time is valuable. I'm not going to just keep talking just to waste your time. Okay, I'm just not going to do that. Okay, Truth Dog out. Yeah. Hope you liked it. Hope you found it interesting. Hope you have a good one. Truth Dog out. Woof woof. All right, where's that cat? I'm gonna give him such a kicking.